Today I'm on the banks of the beautiful Snake River in Wyoming. I'm here to tell you a story about one of America's greatest mountain men, a man by the name of John Colter. So stay tuned, and if you haven't already liked and subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'm here at the base of the Teton Mountains. Behind me is the wonderful Jenny's Lake. It's a beautiful lake here at the base of the mountains. And I'm here to tell you a little story about John Colter. I mentioned to you that Colter was a mountain man that was part of the original expedition with Lewis and Clark, and became very famous because he was such a skilled outdoorsman, hunter, and trapper. John Colter was a key member of the Lewis and Clark expedition from 1804 through 1806. His exceptional wilderness skills and resourcefulness helped the expedition survive through the Rocky Mountains. He joined the expedition in 1803 after Meriwether Lewis recruited him while passing through the state of Kentucky. Colter was instrumental in helping navigate through the uncharted American West. His expertise in hunting and survival made him an invaluable asset, providing food for the group and scouting for new routes. Colter is perhaps best known for his expedition exploits that are going to happen later in his life. But before I get to that, let me just tell you that his contributions to the Lewis and Clark expedition were vital to their success, as his ability to navigate hostile environments, communicate with Native American tribes, and endure the harsh conditions of the frontier ensured the safety and progress of the group. He learned how to communicate with Native Americans through Sacagawea, who was also part of the Lewis and Clark expedition. In 1807, John Colter is going to return after the Lewis and Clark expedition, stay out west for almost the duration of the rest of his life, where he would be a hunter and a trapper and have an incredible influence on this area of the United States. One of the things that was so interesting about Colter was he managed to learn a lot of the native communication. He would communicate by hand signals and would make friends with many of the Crow and Flathead Indians along his route. In fact, he's the first European man that's credited with stepping foot into the greater Yellowstone area. He would return back and talk about geysers and boiling water pits and the area around him. In fact, people would refer to it as Colter's Hell, and they didn't believe him for a long time to come. But anyway, Colter would have a tremendous influence in this area. He would come through the Yellowstone area, down into that area and trap. It wasn't considered a very good trapping area at the time. There was better trapping further up in Montana, in and around the Three Forks area where three rivers would converge. But Colter would grace this area for a number of years. And while coming through this area, the area that you can see behind me, the Teton area and the Jenny's Lake area, in fact, if you're ever in this area, you can go over and see a historical marker near Jackson Lake. In 1807, Colter would help build Fort Raymond, which became a trading post for outdoorsmen and fur traders and trappers all over the area. And he was lured by the dollars that he could get while in the area trapping beaver and skinning them and taking their pelts. Manuel Lisa was a Spanish fur trader who hired John Colter, and together they built Fort Raymond. While working for Lisa as a beaver trader and trapper, Colter and one of his good friends, John Potts, also from the Lewis and Clark expedition, found themselves in some hot water, which would lead to a significant event in Colter's life. John Colter's run is an incredible experience of perseverance and survival. In 1809, John Colter and his friend John Potts had sailed up the Jefferson River, and they were hunting beaver pelts in an area that was well known as a place to stay away from because the natives that lived in the area were not friendly to the trappers at the time. Colter reluctantly went with Potts, and they began trapping beaver when they were discovered by Native Americans in the area. These Native Americans were the Blackfeet Indians, and these Native Americans that discovered Potts and Colter would bring them ashore. In fact, they would hatchet Potts to death. They would kill him and cut him up and leave him there on the side. They would bring Colter ashore, strip him down naked, and tell him that he needed to run. It soon became very evident to Colter that these men were allowing him to run and win his freedom. After he ran a general distance, I'm not sure how far it was, he noticed that one of these Native Americans wasn't far behind him, maybe 20 yards. Colter knew he would be captured, so he stopped, he fought with this individual and eventually killed him. and took some things from him so that he could survive. When the Native Americans, when the Blackfeet found this other Native American dead on the side there, they began to pursue and track Colter to catch him and kill him, but they would never catch up with him. Colter would find himself near a river, not like any other river, not too different from the one I'm standing next to here at the base of the Teton Range. But Colter would find a beaver den, and he would go underneath and into the beaver den where he would find shelter and security, freezing cold and naked in this river, but he would find safety and security away from the natives who were trying to capture him and kill him. He'd end up wandering 5 miles till he got to the Madison River. Again, bare feet and naked. 5 miles till he got to the Madison River. From the Madison River, John Colter's estimation was that he ran for about 150 to 200 miles, again naked and barefoot, until he reached Fort Raymond, which was Manuel Lisa's trading post that was set there at the confluence of the Yellowstone and Bighorn Rivers. But that would become one of the great stories of John Colter. There are so many great stories about him, but that would become one of the great ones. In addition to his discovery of Yellowstone National Park in that area, Colter would become world famous as a guide, a hunter, and a trapper. John Colter's impact lies in his role as a pioneer explorer and mountain man. He was a key member of the Lewis and Clark expedition that helped navigate uncharted territories. Later explorations of areas like Yellowstone and the Teton Mountain range made him one of the first Europeans to document these regions. Colter's legendary survival stories, like Colter's Run, cemented his status as a symbol of frontier endurance and bravery. Thanks for joining us on Roadside History. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.